right, Honobia, the town of Honobia is right down there, and we are gone, headed home. Great weekend, guys. I know I missed a few of you. Some didn't show up, and that's okay. Everybody's got their own lives and are pretty busy, so I know it's hard to make it to some of these, but had a great time, and probably be something that I'll do. Maybe not every year, but I'll definitely be back. Dr. Jeff Meldrum and MK Davis, both of their presentations were pretty good. I didn't get to see most of Meldrum's second part, but I walked in there at the tail end of it. But the first part was the one I really wanted to hear anyway. But anyway, I just thought I'd videotape a little bit of this as I'm driving out so you guys can see. This is a 17-mile jog between Honobia and Tallahina. We're actually driving up now. Honobia's kind of down in the foothills at the bottom, and it's surrounded by a bunch of mountains. And this is going back up the mountain into Tallahina. So, but I remember driving in, it was a beautiful drive, and I wanted to share it with you guys, so I figured I'd just record some of this while I'm driving. You guys can see. Got Tom behind me. We were actually the last ones to leave. Well, there was one other RV. We were just so exhausted. I mean, I was really hoping for cooler weather all weekend, and it did get really cold last night, but that was it. It did rain Saturday morning for a little bit, got everything wet, but it was just enough to make everything kind of humid. It didn't really, it cooled it off for a little bit, but then it just got hot again. So anyway, the heat just zapped us. It was, we really wanted to get out and do some more hikes, and see some more of the mountain. But the first night we stayed up on the mountain. We set up base camp there at the Honobia Cafe. We didn't camp in the where the conference was at because there was just so many people there. So we stayed over off right by a creek behind the cafe. We was probably about 400 or 500 yards from the cafe, and there's a creek that runs behind there. And we set up base camp there, stayed up on the mountain the first night, Thursday night. Friday and Saturday night, we stayed down at the base camp. Saturday night, or let me back up, Friday night, we didn't get a whole lot of activity. It was, there was a lot of acorns falling out of the tree, so, we was always hearing that. But last night there was a lot of activity. I was breaking up there was some dead timber over by our camp, and I dragged a couple of the trees over and it was really dry, so I could just step on them and break them and put them in the fire pit. And as I was doing that, it was making a lot of noise, and I think it attracted something across the creek. And across the creek, it's really rugged and thick. Something came in and pushed over a tree. It was really loud, came crashing down, which sparked our attention. And then later on that night, there was a guy camped not far from us that had a dog, and then there was the owner of the cafe had a bloodhound, or whatever you call them, bone hound or whatever, hunting dog, and he was over there, and they both at separate times came over to our camp. We was feeding them hot dogs, and alerted to something over in the brush, and was whimpering and scared, and it was freaking them out. The bigger dog, which was kind of like a pit bull, he would run over to the bush to check it out, and then just take off running back to his owner's truck, freaked out. And yeah, so later on that night, I ran up, and you'll get to see the video. I'll post it too. I ran about 80 feet of audio cable down to the creek, and then strung it into our tent, and put a parabolic mic down there in the creek. Put it on a rock, and then cover it up with rocks so you couldn't see the base of it. And then put a splitter on the other end up in the tent, so me and Tom could both listen on headphones. And Tom had fallen asleep, and I heard some splashing in the water. It sounded like something bipedal walking across the creek towards us. And I had put some meat and some of the meat that we had cooked, and also some pistachios down there on those rocks in the creek bed, and you'll see that in the other video. And I could hear. Now, I didn't get out to look. I was just listening with the parabolic. I did have some night vision, but I didn't want to scare it off. I wanted to see how close it would get. And then I did a couple calls. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I did a couple calls before we got in or actually right after we got in the tent. I just did them through the mesh of the tent. And the guys that were camped, the other researchers that were 2 campsites over, they heard them too. There was a bunch of calls. They just started going off. There was calls. There was a ranch not too far away that had some dogs, and they were just going crazy. Coyotes went off. So they were there last night. Nope, sorry, I dropped the phone. But I think what they're doing, I think they've got this weekend figured out. You know, they've been doing this for several years, and I think what happens is they know, well, this is only going to last about 2 days, and when all the people leave, there's going to be trash cans full of food, and they're coming in. So I think next year what I'm going to do, and I didn't think about it until now, or until I was packing up this morning. I think the good thing to do would be, you know, this year we came early. We left and came Thursday morning so we could get here early and stay up on the mountain. I think the thing to do next year would be, instead of coming early, or even come early, but I need to take off some days like Monday and Tuesday. I did take off tomorrow, but it's just because I'm driving halfway tonight and then the rest tomorrow. But the thing to do would be take off Tuesday too, and maybe even Wednesday, and stay a day or two after, because I think they're going to come in to dig in the trash cans and get some free grub. So, you know, I didn't think about that till I was packing up today. So I'm going to run that by Randy Harrington and Shane and Matt, and see what they think, and Tom. And anyway, had fun. D, I'm going to post this. Miss Sims, it was a pleasure meeting you. You are such a great person. I wish we could have spent some more time together, but you know how it is. Anyway, I appreciate it. I'm going to cut this off because I got to start paying attention to what I'm doing. These roads are really windy and hilly. A lot of these, let me zoom back in here. A lot of these off to the side here, it's just drop-offs. I mean, hundreds of feet down, and you don't want to go down that. So appreciate it. Hope to see you guys there. I think I will go back next year. I don't know that they've set in stone any speakers yet. I know MK usually shows up, and I also got MK Davis's email address and visited with him for a little while. I've got a cast don't know if you guys can see it down there. I'll show you some more of that. Shane and Matt gave that to us from the Ozarks. It's a replica. Those are some really awesome guys. They hung out with us all weekend. Them and Randy Harrington. Super great people. Couldn't have had a better weekend with any better company. I mean, it was just perfect. So anyway, thanks guys. Hope to see you next year, and hope everyone had a great weekend. Take care.